Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Flippin' Bats. We got a lot to talk about. A lot's been going on this baseball offseason, and we still have a lot to talk about today. New Year's resolution. We're going to come up with 5 different players on different teams and say what their resolution is. We're also going to come up with our own New Year's resolution, a continuation of the top 50 players for the 2024 season. We have fan resolutions. We have a giveaway winners. There are 3 winners that will be announced later on in the show. This one's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get to it.
Fly ball onto the track, at the wall, it's gone! Home run!
Turns on a ball, deep right field, and gone!
What a game, what a moment.
It is officially 2024. Alex,
Dang.
Happy New Year, happy holidays. We have a lot to catch up on. We haven't had an episode since Christmas, and now we're here on New Year's Day. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. How was your Christmas?
Everything. Happy everything.
Yeah.
Man, the in-between's a crazy time. You know that time between Christmas and New Year's where you don't really know what day it is. You don't know what time it is. You kind of just breeze through the day.
Watch a lot of bowl games.
So many sports, so much food, so many drinks. It was so much fun. I had just like a ton of family time, a lot of beach walks, a lot of sports, a lot of meals. So it was perfect. How was yours? You were adventure man.
Mine was great. I went to Tennessee with my family and my sister-in-law's family. We all came together and had such a good time. It's not often we're all able to be together at the same time, at the same time of year. So we all got there for Christmas, and it was like this resort-type area, and we just had so much fun. There were so many different things we were able to do. I rock climbed.
I know.
There was a ropes
I was really
course.
impressed.
There was a sound bath. There was aerial yoga. There was pottery. There's so much stuff you can do here. And really, it was just, the best part of the days were everybody coming together for, our meals and hanging out at night and playing games and stuff. I had so much fun to be with everybody, spend some quality time with my niece. It was great. Christmas was great.
It sounds like adult summer camp, like the coolest.
It
kind of like the coolest experience that you can have, as an adult.
It is, and when you do some stuff that kids can't do, you drop them off at kids camp on the property.
So it is.
It's like, all right, kids, you're going to kid camp. We're going to do,
adult
whatever
summer camp.
Whatever it is we're going to do. Yeah, there was a mixology class. It was it was awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to be expecting like a really good mixed drink next time.
I'll make
we're
it.
out and about. Okay.
I've learned I can make a mean old fashioned now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I got you those cool cubes. Now you have your
good point.
Your own ice cubes. And
good point.
I know, right? But also what a cool time to be in LA during the in-between, right? Because Yoshinobu Yamamoto is officially a Dodger. He had his welcome presser. He was out and about in LA with Shohei Ohtani. What a time to be a Dodger fan right now.
It really is. I mean, 2 of the biggest names all offseason, Shohei being by far the biggest name of the offseason, signing with the Dodgers. Yamamoto signing with the Dodgers, which we did a bonus episode that came out, last week. But just to see it all come together and see the signing become official the other day when they did the press conference. And it just is, it really is crazy to think about the offseason they've had. And now, you have Shohei and Yamamoto out at Matsuhisa with Chef Nobu Matsuhisa. So he has Nobu and he has Matsuhisa.
That's so great.
Those 2 are at Matsuhisa, and we've just
legendary
seen them,
lineup.
Yeah, we've just seen them out and about in the town. This is so good for the game of baseball to have its stars, and I do believe Yamamoto is going to be a star in this league.
Oh, yeah.
To have its stars just out publicly doing things, and I'm excited to watch the Dodgers this year.
I am too, and I'm also feeling pretty good about my Christmas wish list now that we got Yamamoto and Ohtani. I wanted a Dodgers World Series. If I was being picky, multiple over the next 10 years while they have Ohtani and Yamamoto. So, that was good. That was nice.
Well, we're still celebrating before the season is. It's the first day of 2024, and Alex is already celebrating multiple Dodgers championships.
I was just sending Ben all the text. He's like, let's just focus on a playoff win first. I was like, nope, World Series. calling it now.
By the way,
that's okay.
No shade was meant there, but it's true. Alex was like celebrating multiple championships, and I was like, can the Dodgers and you and the fandom focus on maybe one playoff win before we start celebrating multiple championships?
Just let us be excited for the week, okay? Then once the season starts, reality will set in, and we'll see how the chemistry and how the play of the team goes, okay?
They'll win 120 games. They're going to win They're going to win 110 regular season games.
Okay.
Again, it ain't about the regular season with this Dodgers. No, you shouldn't take that. You want playoff wins.
We are going to get playoff wins. I believe it's going to be both now. It feels like it's going to be both now. But as you said, it's the new year. Okay, so let's focus on New Year's resolutions, because that's what you do. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, it's New Year's Day. So what we're going to do, you mentioned it off the top of the show, we're going to go through some of the top players, and you're going to give your resolution for these top players. Okay, we're going to do 5. So our first one, Juan Soto. What is your resolution for Juan Soto?
The new New York Yankee, Juan Soto. Juan Soto's New Year's resolution is to hit 100 combined home runs with Aaron Judge. Now,
that's possible.
What does that mean? How do they do it? Well, 50-50 seems to be the easy route. Or somebody hitting 60 and somebody hitting 40, but it is possible.
Yes.
Especially with that really short porch down there in right field. Sometimes I feel like when Juan Soto misses a ball, right? When he backspins a ball and hits it well, it's getting out anywhere. But sometimes I feel like Juan Soto's miss is a hook line drive down the right field line. That might get out at Yankee Stadium.
That will get out.
I truly believe that they have the possibility, between the two of them, two of the best hitters in baseball, Soto and Judge, to hit 100 combined home runs.
If they both stay healthy, this is a high probability of happening.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, let's move on to our next player, Julio Rodríguez.
Julio's New Year's resolution is pretty simple. His New Year's resolution is simply have my team add some offense.
Help me out, man.
I need the Mariners to add some offense. It's what's needed to happen for a few years now. The pitching staff is one of the best in baseball. 1 through 5, I'd put them up against anybody. It's very, very talented. Julio Rodríguez, MVP caliber player. I'd put him up against anybody as well. He's that good, and he's going to be that good. But why aren't they adding that one bat that it feels like they are desperately missing? It feels like you can look around the league and see teams that are just like, this is what you're missing. Go get it. The Orioles, a frontline starting pitcher. The Mariners, a big bat to go with Julio in that lineup. And I know they're adding pieces and they have some fun pieces in that lineup. This is no discredit to everyone else in the Mariners lineup. And this is no discredit to Mitch Garver, who they just signed. But he's not the name I'm talking about. I'm talking about some of the other pieces that we've seen out there on the market this offseason. Some of the bigger names, Cody Bellinger, or go get a DH and JD Martinez or Jorge Soler. It just feels like they're being cheap. It feels like they're just putting out a good team and not the best possible team. And that's frustrating because I do feel like they are so close. If you added 2 pieces to that lineup, if you added a Matt Chapman and a Jorge Soler, or a Matt Chapman and a Cody Bellinger, this is a different team. This is a playoff team that could beat anybody in the playoffs because of how good their pitching is. And Julio is desperately asking the organization, please get some offense.
Which is crazy when you have a star, a face of the franchise, someone that can take you all the way, and all he needs is a little help.
Yep.
It's not that hard. All right, let's move on to our next player, the reigning AL MVP, the new face of the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani.
Yes, Shohei's New Year's resolution is please, in my first year with the Dodgers, I want to have a good year. I want to hit 50 home runs with a 1,000 OPS.
Dang, okay.
That's his New Year's resolution. Now, that's what I'm saying his resolution is. Knowing Shohei, I would imagine his New Year's resolution is simply just get to the playoffs. Please, I want to play playoff baseball.
Yeah.
That's going to happen, okay? The Dodgers are going to make the playoffs. I would bet my right pinky finger on it. They'll get there. But 50 homers, a 1,000 OPS. I know how important those things, Shohei's shown the power throughout his career.
Yeah.
But last year, he really took a big step forward in being able to get on base and hit for a higher average and put more balls in play. I thought it was by far the best offensive season he's had. I know that was something he's super proud of, to win the Hank Aaron Award, to have a higher batting average. The year prior, at the All-Star game, when he was there as a pitcher and a hitter again, I asked him how Shohei the pitcher would do against Shohei the batter, and he laughed and said I could throw myself with a fastball down the middle and I'd strike out. Last year was a bit of a different situation. He figured things out. I'm excited to watch him in his first year with the Dodgers. 50 homers, 1,000 OPS. I absolutely think that could happen over at Dodger Stadium.
Especially now that he has incredible protection in this all-star lineup. So it's going to be really exciting to see Ohtani and the Dodgers this season. But let's move to our next player, Carlos Correa.
Yes, Carlos Correa is the next player. This is coming off of a year, Alex, that injuries, not good, underperformance.
Yeah.
So Carlos Correa's New Year's resolution is stay healthy and be dominant. I think those things sort of go hand in hand with Carlos Correa. And I am a believer that Carlos Correa is still one of the best shortstops in the game of baseball. Last year, again, was not that. But he was injury plagued again. I think if he stays healthy, he again has one of the best seasons for a shortstop in baseball. But it's a big but when it comes to staying healthy, because it just felt like, and going back to last offseason, failing all of those physicals, not being able to pass them, and then the injuries last year. Staying healthy is a big but with Carlos Correa, but if he can do that, I think he's one of the most dominant players. We saw him get a bit healthier, though I don't think he was close to 100%. We saw him get a bit healthier in October, and we saw what he's able to do. That's the kind of player Carlos Correa is. He's an October player. He shows up all the time in October. But over the course of the regular season, I need to see more of that. I think we do this year.
Yeah, you need that October beast mode throughout the entire season.
Yep.
All right, we got one more player for you, Ronald Acuña Jr.
Ronald Acuña Jr.'s New Year's resolution is go back to back. MVP winner Ronald Acuña Jr. wants a back-to-back MVP award. I absolutely believe that can happen. Now, it gets a bit tougher, but Ronald probably knows, hey, now Shohei Ohtani's in the National League. I got one more year where he's not going to be pitching and hitting. This is the year I need to win an MVP, because the next 100%. Couple of years, it's going to get a bit tougher. I think Ronald can hit about 40 homers again. I think he can I think he can go 40-80 this year.
Whoa.
Ronald Acuña Jr. should be the heavy favorite as of right now to go back-to-back and win back-to-back MVP awards. I think it's so cool to see him win the award and go play winter ball and take the field right after celebrating winning an MVP award. The guy's going to come in ready to roll again. He's one of, if not the best player in the game of baseball right now, with Shohei not doing both. I think he can go back-to-back, and that should be his New Year's resolution.
I love that. Okay, we've done some players. We're going to get to fans a little later in the show. Now it's time for our New Year's resolution. What is your resolution, baseball resolution?
So I only have a few stadiums left out there.
I met who? Orioles?
No, I grew up right next to Camden Yards.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been to that one.
Okay.
I love that
Bird Bath. You just haven't been to the Bird Bath.
I hadn't been in the Bird Bath because that was new last year. So my New Year's resolution is going to be cross another stadium off the list that I have not yet been to. And I don't know, Alex, if I have publicly said this on Flippin' Bats ever. But at this point, I'm holding out for it to be a special situation. One of the stadiums that I have never been to in my life is Wrigley Field. I've never been to Wrigley. And it is one of, I think I have 3 left, 4 left. Wrigley, both Chicago stadiums, never been.
Neither have I.
And Milwaukee. I think that's it. 4, Cincinnati.
I have also not been to Wrigley.
Well,
maybe we make it a show.
That's my resolution.
We make it
Cross
happen.
another one off the bucket list. I would love for it to be Wrigley. But at this point, honestly, it's a bit embarrassing that I've never been to Wrigley. Because I live and breathe baseball and have since the day I was born.
Yeah.
And one of the stadiums I've never been to is like the coolest stadium of all time.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's almost like I need to hold out until I get to see Wrigleyville in a playoff atmosphere. Like, how cool would that be?
Or in the hunt. Would be fun.
I would love playoffs. But
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what's yours?
Okay. My resolution is I want to be a better fan and I want to go to more games. So the thing is, like, I grew up season tickets to Dodger Stadium. So growing up, we were at least one home game, like every home game, at least one of the series. And then after college, my first job was covering the Angels for 10 years. So I was working the games for 10 years straight. And then there's kind of been this 2-year window now where I've been in studio and not full-time on the field. So I am ready to be back just as a fan at games, watching more games. And now that the Dodgers have Ohtani and Yamamoto, this is just, it's perfect. It's going to happen. More games. I want to go to more games.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. I want to go to more games at a stadium I've never been to.
Yeah.
So maybe hand in hand.
They kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah. All right. Alex, on our Christmas Day episode, we announced some giveaways.
We did.
And how you can win and where you should send your screenshot of subscribing or following Flippin' Bats. And you have the potential to win a few different things. Bobbleheads, a video game. There are a few different awards. Today, New Year's Day, we announce some winners. There are 3 people, 3 different winners here. One of them being Jordan Fowler, another being Shannon Waldron, and the last, Michelle Craglow. So congratulations to you 3. Your winnings, presents, gifts will be sent out shortly, and those will be in your possession now. So congratulations, and most importantly, thank you for listening and being a loyal listener and follower of Flippin' Bats and being a part of this community. That's what it's all about, and we wanted to give away during the holiday season. So congrats to you 3 for your winnings.
Good work. And this is from your personal collection.
It was. From my personal collection.
That's fun. Okay, now we're moving on and continuing our top 50 players of 2024. And we're officially at 30 through 26.
All right.
Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get started with number 30, Luis Robert Jr.
Yeah, I don't like a lot about the Chicago White Sox, but I do like Luis Robert Jr. I think he's one of the better players in the game of baseball. I would have said, and I think I did say 2 or 3 years ago, that I think Luis Robert Jr. is going to win an MVP award. I don't disagree with that still at this point. He didn't have the best year average-wise that I think he can have, 264, but he hit 38 homers and had 80 RBIs on a team that there weren't a lot of runs scored. So I think Luis Robert Jr. can get closer to that 300 number. If he's going to hit 300 with 40 homers and over 100 RBIs, then you're in that conversation. And I think he absolutely can be. The only problem is the White Sox are a fiasco, and they're just kind of out of sight, out of mind. And if you're going to win an MVP on a bad team, you have to be doing things like what Shohei has done with the Angels for years, or what Mike Trout was doing with the Angels for years. And if you're seeing a theme, a lot of the bad teams with good players has been the Angels. So maybe Luis Robert Jr. can do it with the White Sox. He comes in at 30.
Okay, moving on to number 29, the heart and soul of the Orioles, Adley Rutschman.
Yeah, Adley is quickly becoming the best catcher in the game of baseball. He's so much fun to watch. He's still so young. The Orioles turnaround is due all to him, honestly. That's how good Adley has been. I'm excited to see him get another year under his belt. He had 277 with 20 homers and 80 RBIs in his first full big league season. Now he's going to get another one. I really do. I love me some Adley Rutschman. He's a friend of the podcast. Loved having him on talking baseball, and I think he's going to have a big 2024. So remember, these are top 50 for next year, not anything related to last year.
All right, number 28, 6-time All-Star Manny Machado.
That's a lot of All-Star games.
A lot of All-Stars.
And I think he gets back to another one next year. Manny Machado comes in at number 28 for the San Diego Padres. He had 258 last year, 30 homers with 91 RBIs. I expect a little better from Manny Machado last year. He was dealing with some nagging injuries, ended up taking care of some stuff later in the year. So I think we see a healthier Manny Machado. I think we see and I don't know, maybe this is a bit naive of me. I think we see a healthier locker room and team for the San Diego Padres. I don't expect more of the same of what we saw last year. I really don't. You're going to get a full season of Tatis, which is huge.
Huge.
I really do think that hurt them a lot last year, and then they could just never figure it out. I think their team will be better overall. I think Machado will be better and healthier overall. He slides in at number 28.
All right, moving on to number 27. He's a 10-time Gold Glove winner, 8-time All-Star, Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, I think these two guys are so neck and neck.
Yeah.
Machado and Arenado, back-to-back, are in my top 50 here at 28 and 27. Arenado hit 266 last year with 26 homers, 93 RBIs. I expect him to have a much better year this year. Both of these guys, I know I keep comparing them, but last year, and the year prior, I watched them. It often seems like they feed off of each other as two of the best third basemen in the game of baseball. What's he doing? What am I doing? How good can I beat what Machado's doing? Can I beat what Arenado's doing? But Arenado, to me, gets the little bit of an edge just because of how good he is defensively. He's one of the best defensive third basemen, I think, of all time. And I think he does better than 266 and 26 next year. Again, similarities. Cardinals really underperformed as well. I think they also improve and do a bit better.
All right, and last but not least, at number 26, the face of Kansas City, Bobby Witt Jr.
Rounding out the first half of the top 50 players for the 2024 season is Bobby Witt Jr. I am so excited to watch this guy in 2024. It would not surprise me if Bobby Witt Jr. ends up as a finalist for an MVP award, maybe a top 3.
Whoa.
Top 3 is official finalist, but I could see Bobby Witt Jr. for sure being a top 5 candidate for an MVP next year. 276 with 30 homers and 96 RBIs last year. That's on a team that was really bad, a 100-loss Royals team. They will be better. He had 96 RBIs on a really bad team. The Royals will be better. I think he will. He got off to a slower start. I think he can. I'm excited to watch Bobby Witt. I think the best is yet to come. I think we could see a season, and it might not be next year, but I think Bobby Witt Jr. could be a 300 batting average kind of guy. He has the speed to do that. I think he's clearly a 30-homer guy. He did it last year. So imagine a world in which you get a Bobby Witt Jr. that's a 300 average guy, a 40 home run guy, a 100-plus RBI guy, and a 50 stolen base guy. What do you mean? That guy's in the MVP candidate conversation every single year. And I think Bobby Witt Jr. takes a big, big step next year on a team that will be better. And I think he can be an MVP candidate.
This is a good list of names.
Yeah. And now, next episode, we will be in the top 25 of the top 50. So today, 30 through 26 rounds out the first half of the list that we've been doing this offseason.
That's fun. And we're going to round out this show with the fan resolutions. We asked you guys to send in your team resolutions, and Ben's going to kind of work through it. We'll workshop it.
It'll be a bit of a workshop. Will I agree?
We'll see how likely.
Will it come true? Will it not come true?
How likely this will be.
We'll see.
So let's get started with Carter, our first fan question resolution. This is my Red Sox New Year's resolution list. He has a list here. 1, for the Sox to sign one big free agent. 2, the Red Sox to give Alex Correa an extension. And 3, get rid of John Henry and get a new owner that doesn't have a been there, done that mindset.
Well, Carter,
Woo!
Got some bad news for you. It's the first day of January and your resolution ain't going to come true.
Any of them?
Well, no, I could see. This is another team that's frustrated me in terms of the Red Sox are always in the conversation for a big name player. There's always interest. The Red Sox are interested. There's big interest from the Red Sox. That's every offseason.
Yeah.
The story just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. They're the interest kings, the Red Sox. But they never end up getting their guy, it feels like. So are they at this point going to sign a big name free agent? I don't know who's out there as a big name free agent right now. We're probably the biggest names we're talking about is Blake Snell and Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
I don't see the Red Sox getting either of those. The Correa extension I could see happening. John Henry ain't selling the team, although Yeah, that is what it is. But same sort of situation in a few different places around the league. An ownership that I just don't think is as committed to winning baseball as he is to the bottom line number and making as much money as possible. I think John Henry is in the latter.
All right, let's move on to our next fan resolution. This one comes from Dylan. He's talking about his Braves. Win a postseason series.
The picture's
There's
great.
a picture that says it hurts. It hurts so much.
Dylan's New Year's resolution is for the Braves to win a postseason series. I think they do that. I think they do it. I think this resolution will come true. I don't think we see back-to-back seasons of this, or again, we have seen back-to-back seasons.
We have.
I don't think we see back-to-back-to-back seasons of the same sort of thing happening. I think the Braves can get a, we tried to do,
I know.
I think the Braves can get a 2-seed, a 1 or 2 seed, and end up with a bye and then win a series. But I don't know. It's all about getting that bye. It's all about who you're going to play. If the Braves end up playing the Dodgers in the first round or the Phillies again, if the Braves, honestly, at this point, if you're the Braves, you'd rather play the Dodgers in that first round. The Phillies are just your kryptonite in the playoffs, and the same thing seems to happen every single year. I don't think it does in 2024. I think the Atlanta Braves win a postseason series.
You hope so.
Well, as a Dodgers fan, you know.
I'm saying for you, not for me, but it's fine.
Care.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up a Braves fan.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to the next resolution. This one comes from Double Player. For the Cubs to sign literally anybody.
Listen here. And listen closely.
Cody?
The Chicago Cubs have been nothing short of an embarrassment so far this offseason. There is still time. There is still things that can be done. But we are now closer to the start of the regular season or to spring training than we were to the day that the Cubs signed and got Craig Counsell. So here we are, January 1st. The Cubs signed the biggest manager contract of all time to get Craig Counsell. And I said, wow, this is just the beginning. They're going to do some really big things. You have to. This isn't going to be your only signing. And then you hear they're in on Shohei Ohtani, and they're in on this, and they're in on that. Well, none of it worked. And now here we are, and every other team in baseball, 25 teams, have signed a free agent so far this offseason. 4 other teams have made a trade for a player this offseason. The Chicago Cubs are the one team in all of baseball that hasn't done shit. What are you going to do? It's time to do it. And it's not all done. It's not all going up in flames. There's still answers. Go get Cody Bellinger. Go get Rhys Hoskins. Put Rhys at first base. Put Cody Bellinger in the outfield. Put Rhys at DH. I don't care. Get those 2 offensive guys. You desperately need a pitcher. So take all of that money, the $600-700 million you were going to give Shohei Ohtani, and give it to Cody Bellinger, Rhys Hoskins, and Jordan Montgomery. And guess what? You have yourselves pretty close to a playoff team at that point, a team that I do believe could make the playoffs. But as of right now, it's been an embarrassment of the offseason. I absolutely agree. Can the Cubs do anything? Anybody? Jed, are you listening? Are you going to sign anybody? What's happening? You drive down the Chicago freeway the other day, and it said, make sure you turn on your turn signal before you make moves. Unless it's you, Jed Hoyer, just make any move. Do something. It needs to be done. This team is begging. They're on the cusp of the playoffs. They're begging to have players added to get them over the hunch. It can still be there. Add a few pieces. Bellinger, Hoskins, Montgomery, boom, playoffs for the Chicago Cubs. As of right now, it's an embarrassment.
I feel like we need a universal deep breath.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good and heated. Got it all out there. Okay, we got one more fan resolution. This one comes from Nick R. For the Mets to sign a player whose name I know.
That feels fair.
That's fair. Fair.
What I will also say is fair is I will caution Mets fans against this.
Yeah.
So let's take a step back to talk about the Mets for a second, because I understand there's a bit of frustration and it's been a quieter offseason with just kind of some smaller moves.
Yeah.
let's look at what they did last year. All in, right? Went and got Justin, added, and then you have Justin and Max, and then it just didn't work. The Justin injury, and then Max not pitching well at the beginning of the year, and then the Max suspension for a bit, and then it just never seemed to mesh and work right. And it all came to an end, and they traded those players to rebuild the minor league system. So here we are after a really bad season, and the Mets outwardly saying it might not be next year where we are winners. But then you get to this offseason and you hear the Mets in on, whispers of Ohtani, but big-time rumors on Yamamoto.
Yep.
And they were really in on Yamamoto. And they were the high offer on Yamamoto, but didn't end up getting him. So where do you pivot? Well, this is where I feel like this is really important for Mets fans to grasp. Yamamoto ended up signing for 12 years. If he had signed with the Mets for 12 years and $325 million, that's a staple piece in your rotation for a decade. Where you don't want to pivot is to, in my opinion, if you're the Mets, you don't want to pivot right now to a player like a Cody Bellinger, who, one, there's a lot of question marks with Cody Bellinger, but the Mets aren't 1 year away right now.
Yeah.
So the signing that they might have done for over a decade makes sense. You don't want to turn around and flip that all to some of the names out there that you might know are a Justin Turner or a JD Martinez, older DHs. You don't want those guys on this roster that the Mets currently have built. So it's important, it's equally as important if you don't get that Shohei Ohtani or Yamamoto to parlay that into the right thing. And that totally is dependent on where your team is and how the roster is set. So if you're the Mets and you miss out on $325 million of Yamamoto, what you don't want to do with this current construction of the roster is flip all of that money into a JD Martinez or a Justin Turner or a Jordan Montgomery, in my opinion. It's not about that. If you can get the long-term, over a decade, once-in-a-lifetime player, do it. If not, don't put it all into this coming season because you know this probably isn't going to be the season. You are still 1 or 2 years away from being able to build from within that minor league system.
Yeah, and it's fun. They have so many young guys. So you're just going to have to get used to learning all of their names. And those are the names that you're going to get to know and know to love for a long time.
Exactly. Francisco Alvarez, we saw it last year. I don't think the Mets are going to be one of the best teams in baseball this year, but I am excited to watch him
be competitive.
Hopefully the everyday catcher for the Mets throughout the course of this season. He's going to be great. I hope Brett Beatty gets a big chance this year over at third base. We'll see what ends up happening with this team this year. They're kind of in a transition year.
Definitely
which is
in a
my
transition
point.
year.
You don't want those older players if you're the Mets. You can see what they are doing, which is the beauty of it. I know Mets fans wanted to win last year, and I know it all came crashing and burning down, but you can see the blueprint now. It didn't work, and Steve Cohen didn't care about the money. He said, you know what? Other teams, Rangers, Astros, you take these two pitchers. I will pay you to take them. You give me your best minor leaguers. And now they're building from within, and I think we are a couple years away from the Mets doing what they should be, where they should be, and I think fans will be really happy.
I agree.
But don't ruin it all now by giving a bunch of money to a player for the next year or two. Don't do that.
No, and he won't. Uncle Steve's like one of the best businessman owners in the league.
Yep.
It's a marathon. Just got to be patient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good resolutions. Alex, good resolution.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Happy
everyone.
2024.
It is officially 2024. And we are just, we are a month and a half away from pitchers and catchers reporting, which is crazy, to spring training.
I just felt like that mind-blowing emoji, like, whoa. Yeah, we are.
It is not very far, my friends. But Happy New Year. Happy 2024. Thank you all for listening. Congrats again to the giveaway winners. Thank you all for listening, though. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. You can also watch everything on Spotify now as well as YouTube and all social media at Flippin' Bats Pod. But that does it. Until next time, this has been another episode of Flippin' Bats. Peace.